Are you interested in possibilities beyond anything you've ever considered? Join me, John Ashford, alias Akintola, each week where I show up unapologetically me as a possibility seeker, an explorer of the universe, conversationalist, and a storyteller. Having worked with families, communities, and systems for over 30 years, I desire to explore with you topics beyond current realities and create something greater than the world as we know it today. Together, we can inspire, teach, and share with each other our real and raw ideas to change the world to the place we know it can be. Join me for some fun as we get real, funky, raw, vulnerable, outrageous, and inspired. Peace. John Ashford with Living the Foundation, Living Beyond the Foundation. I'm jumping on this morning, and so let me just back up. So people who see this, I did not do a good job of advertising this group. Today's going to be kind of interesting. I will be done probably a little bit before an hour. I promise things will get, I'm not going to see better, but things are going to be a little bit more palatable. And I'll do a little bit better of getting the word out. But I'm going to talk about that too. Living Beyond the Foundation came out of the whole concept of what do I do after access consciousness? How do I build beyond that? And who am I? The most important piece. Who am I? What do I think I lost, and what did I gain? Looking at all aspects of me and moving forward. One of the things that I'm going to do, I've added my drum. And I added my drum for a series. It's a djembe drum. And I played it probably forever. But I have this habit of when things get crazy or I learn new things, I let go of other things. And I'm not doing that anymore. So I've decided to bring this drum back to allow it to accompany me in all the work that I do. When I do bars, when I do body work, when I do anything that's going to require for me to be more present, I'm drumming a space, because that is something that happens when I drum. Okay, that is, let's see, Judy, you're just joining. Let me change the view. How are you, sister?
Good. How are you?
All right, I'm putting this in gallery. I started already because I didn't know who was going to come and who wasn't. I was talking about, so excuse people who watch this later, Judy, I was talking about what's happened to me in the last couple of months and reorganizing things and getting grounded and just grabbing hold of this crazy motherfucking life that we're going through right now and being present without losing my mind. Today it's going to be the same format, but I'm going to explain a little bit more detail where I'm at with things. And if you have anything, Judy, if this is just a conversation between you and me, I got a couple of cards that I'm going to pull, my oracle cards that spoke to me this morning. I'm just going to get back to some of my basics that I'm getting back. Consistency. It's going to be an ADHD day, okay? Because I'm going to jump all over the place. So, Judy, at any time you have permission to go, John, what are you going? Where are you going? What's going on? And I'll be like, what the fuck? Okay.
Am I the only one on so far?
So far, yes. And I think there was 3 other people. So part of these clips, probably, if you don't say, with your permission to, Maureen it'll probably be on YouTube, because some of this ideas that I was happening that came across when I woke up this morning, I was like, this is almost more of the platform of podcast today, of what I want to share, what I want to feel, and I'm going to let certain things have it.
Okay, I'm just going to go make some tea, and I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem. And there's Vanessa.
I can hear you.
For sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, today is going to be more of a platform of a podcast, me talking. If you guys have any insight or anything, because I'm going to talk about, this is the following things. So I'm going to give you guys a menu because I'm going to mark things off because I really want to cover some things today. So fear. Well, good morning, Vanessa. How you doing in the kitchen cooking breakfast, huh?
Good morning. I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
So today it's going to be all over the place. We're going to talk about fear, separation, victimhood, being woke, consciousness, body awareness, pain, breath work, meditation, Akashic record, my Akashic record class, inner child. I've developed this thing or start focusing on this inner child. I'm gonna show you guys a picture. It's kind of ironic because here is a picture of me and my brother, and in this picture I am 4 years old, and I have my hand out.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, let me see. Let me pin. Can I pin this? Can't pin it. Let me put it on speaker.
Okay. So.
Oh, so cool.
So this picture sits right on my desk behind my computer, and it's been there because Tori put it there. Okay. And in that picture, Judy, I'll show you, Judy, because in this picture is me at 4. Okay. And this had to be like 1967 because my brother was 2. So this, like, you can tell the picture's all black and white. So go figure. My kids tease me, Dad, you around black and white stuff? I was like, hell yeah, the TV was still black and white. Anyway, I show that picture because here I'm jumping around. In the Akashic record class, I got in this class and I was really kind of getting frustrated towards the middle of the class because I was like, this class is not about Akashic records. It's about me. And I kept on getting frustrated. I was like, when are we going to get to the point of the work of doing Akashic record? And if anybody ever seen this movie called Karate Kid, and Mr. Miyagi, or Mr. Miyagi, I think is his name, he had his client come by and he said, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. And the kid got really frustrated because he thought that Mr. Miyagi was taking advantage of him because he was wax on, wax off. And eventually, Mr. Miyagi got hold of the kid's frustration and walked up on him and told him to put the towel down. And he punched at him. And he did wax off. He punched again, wax on. And the whole concept of it is that sometimes you have to practice something else so you can get to what you're really going for. And that's my journey of today. I'm finding I did not advertise this class today. I did not really advertise this class. Last week I had a meditation class that was more advertised. I didn't do it, and I don't feel bad about it. And that's the ironic thing, because what's beginning to happen for me now is I'm beginning to realize that the real serious work is done within. And I'm not saying that this is not important and that I don't enjoy it, but there's been so many things for me dealing with, okay, here's a random thing about pain, body problems, perceived body problems, headaches, hypertension. It's kind of interesting right now that this is happening to people's bodies. The question with it is it really theirs to have? Or is the body trying to tell you something that you've been ignoring? And I'm going to show you this, so I'm going to go here. In January 3rd, January 2nd, I flew to Sedona, Arizona. And I went to this channel panel class. And when I got there, I started having back problems. Before I left, I started having slight back problems. And the most intense it got is last night. I was paralyzed. Couldn't walk. Couldn't get out of bed. This morning, I didn't know how I was going to do this class. And I started freaking the fuck out because I was like, and I was almost in tears, like, oh, I'm too young for this to happen. I'm 61 years old, but I'm still too fucking young for this. I'm not ready to be set down like this. And I remember Aluna from one of our classes saying that right now, and some of you guys might get this, and I might have to have another class, we're having a merging of timelines. Okay? And a duplication of planet Earth. And in the process, bodies are aware of those changes happening that we can't formulate in our minds yet. So your body starts to do weird shit, being sick or thinking being sick, but it really isn't. It will be interesting. She says, really interesting for those individuals like yourselves on the screen to go to a doctor to get confirmation from a doctor that you're not sick, but you have a illness that you feel like you're sick. Yes.
I just missed a.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I feed the dog. Yeah. I feed the dog and the cat. Yeah.
I just missed a week of work because of back spasms.
Yes, and it's happening to a lot, especially near the sacrum area. So here's the question. There's more scares coming up, health scares coming up. There's more lower back problems, sacrum. Let's take the word sacrum and let's look at what it says. Sacrum.
Sacred.
This is a challenging time for light bearers. And I'm calling all you guys that usually follow them or come on my class or whatever. If you're here, here's a piece about being aware of what you are. I'm light. I know that. I'm going to say this. So this week, it was ironic. I had a hard day. Sunday of a week ago today, one of my clients OD'd on fentanyl. I did not have the idea. Monday, I went to work and I called. And I called kind of upset because I was like, where the fuck are you? You're supposed to be in the office right now. Yada, yada, yada. So I blew up his phone. His girlfriend's mom answers the phone and says, Mr. Ashford, I'm sorry to tell you, Alex is dead. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what? This can't be. Me and Alex was cool. He came to the office all, and when he left the office, he was like, man, dude, I can't wait to work with you. And his girlfriend gave him some shit and he OD'd. He's ready to check the fuck out. I had to be okay with that, but it still fucked with me mentally. Because I was like, whoa, what the hell? This week, later that week, so that happened Monday. I took Tuesday and Wednesday off. I had to deal with some tax stuff that I'm still working on. Because I've done some stuff with taxes that I'm trying to get back on par with, but I'm letting that go because of the universe, because it's been occupying too much space. And then Thursday I go back to work, and I have this one biracial African American, European American girl come in my office, and I can tell she's nervous. How kids are nervous because they don't know if they're going to jail or what's going on. And me being jovial, and I wear my George Clinton shirts like I wear all the time, and having on sweats and not looking very official like the county wants me to. I never been able to do that shit. Especially with this Santa Claus beard, I think it's even becoming more funny than I'm really looking like a cartoon character. So she comes to my office and she sits down and she's there for a harassment charge because she got in a fight and we talked about it and I talked to her. So I didn't even talk about that though. The first hour we just talked about being. Midway through the conversation, she looks at me and she starts, more than midway through the conversation, she stops me and she says, do you go to a church? And I was like, God, no, why you ask me that? She said, you're very godly. I came here being suicidal and wanting to quit. And you talked about everything that I've talked to my mom and dad in the car with when we got here. So mom started crying. And I realized I've been doing this shit since I've been in body. I really fucking have been doing this for my entire... And I had to have that awareness with that for myself that, oh, you have a power that you possess and you're using it. And I had to put that out there to the universe to remind myself, because the day before I was really squashed by this guy dying, this kid at 17 dying. And then the other stuff that I've been going on with my body, this body pain and then my friend's not feeling good. And then I just get to the point that, God, I want to give up. Why is it so difficult? Then yesterday I was on a class with my sister Luna. And she said, this is real. This is you've been waiting for you. Everybody born right now, we came to be here right now. But it's not by mistake. How many people, Judy, had at our age group have dropped off already because they can? But you choose to be here right now. So then I went back and I was like, well, what really is some of the things? What are some of the things that really drive me from not being present? So I just wrote down some shit. Fear. I'm gonna look this up because I want to look this up for you guys. Because a friend gave me a definition of fear that I want to use in this group today.
False evidence about reality.
What's that?
False evidence about reality.
Yes,
Oh,
false
that's
evidence.
good.
Yes,
Yeah.
false evidence.
Yeah.
Y'all feel me with that one?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what the fuck? How many times have you sat back with something that has not fucking occurred yet, let it occupy your space, and then let drive your motherfucking car? You like acting like Stevie Wonder, and this dude is Ray Charles. Both of y'all going down the road, don't know what's gonna happen, can't see shit, closed eyes. That fear will drive us. It's false evidence. And you go on that shit. Even the mirror is distorted about what you really look like. It's in the reverse. But yet we base so much of our actions and our presence on fear. And then fear has this way of occupying organs. One of the organs that fear sits in Chinese medicine is the kidneys. It sits deep in the kidneys, in the deep blue black waters of the kidneys. And fear likes saying, and here's the other piece about it. And Judy, I'll share this with you. What are you putting down below in your sacrum that you can't see and fuck with? That's like you store. It's a storage system, and now it's coming all up. Because what's happening now, because of what's happening on the planet right now, all the things are emerging. All the things you don't want. You know how they said that your truths will come to the top? What truth aren't you willing to deal with, not being right or wrong, that actually is coming up, that's breaking through, which breaking through your spinal cord to make you wake up to it, to look at it and say, hey, just do you see me? And here's the piece where I'm jumping back and around. And so this little boy, I did this inner child meditation with Luna, and it was a self-guided. She did it on recording, and you had to do it by yourself, and you had to write down things. And I was just like amazed about how many inner child issues that I had going on. And I came from a really cool, deep-ass, dope-ass family. But I still had things that when I started writing it down, when I got to 10 things, I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, this inner child thing, I thought that's some hippie, bippy shit. I was like, what the hell is that about? But it's the inner, it's those things, that inner child is those things that you thought that were gone, or did you think you have to deal with? Let me close these blinds. Hold on 1 second. I started getting this tiger head. But letting go of those fears that we have that won't allow us to be present, and here's a remedy to it. The greatest remedy to being present to fear is what? Yeah, take a guess.
Well, dealing with it.
What's that?
Recognizing it.
Recognizing it.
Looking it in the eye.
Yep, looking in the eye. Looking in the eye. But you know the greatest thing to it is breathing through it. See, here is one of those things that is kind of weird. If you start breathing, you are forced to be present. When you start regulating your breathing, because everybody's breathing here, we agree with everybody's screen is breathing. You walk around, you're breathing. That's the thing. But when you get aligned with your breathing and you start shifting your breathing so you start have to pay attention, you become present. And those things, those outside things, seem to go away because you're focusing on breathing. Here's how ironic the universe always shows me other things. So it's this one sister that used to be part of Access, Emily Russell. She's doing a breathing class that she's teaching. And I was online with her and I was talking to her. She said, "Hey, John, why don't you jump on my line?" I said, "Yeah, okay." I got in there, so that was breathing. Then I got into Luna's classes and we have segments of breathing. And I was like, there's something about breathing. And so we got to a point where we're doing this certain type of breathing where you fill your crown up and you exhale all the way down the perineum and you just sit in that space for the 2 to 3 count in emptiness. Now, the crazy thing about it is everybody that's been in this class with me that I've talked to were having a hard time. Like, if they didn't have a hard time going to the crown and filling up and expanding and being present with that. But when it came to the point of going down into your body and lowering it into the body and being in the empty space, everybody was uncomfortable. Well, when you have empty space, guess who's present? You.
It's me.
And when you have nothing left and you need to take a breath, your body lets you know it. Like, we'll practice this breathing because it's the craziest thing. Because and Vanessa, if you get a chance, well, I know you're cooking, but when you get a break, I wanted you to practice this breathing thing because it's the craziest shit. You can fill yourself up and hold it at the top here, and hold it for 4, 5, 6, 8 count, and then you lower it out, go down to emptiness, and then see how long you can hold it. You be like, what the fuck? And everybody's done this. Like, what is it? It's because when the body is empty, now you be present with what's in. In healing, there is nothing in the body that can't be healed. You just have to vibrate it, co-vibrate at that level. Nothing. No cancer, no hypertension, no lower back. All of it is a gift if you allow it to be a gift. But then the question with it is what, and this is the other piece too from this class that I realized. I'm jumping all over this place. My notes look crazy now. Okay. I want to go here first. There's the other thing that's happening right now is that this earth condition is calling in for more separation. And it's you have to be very, 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 very careful because it's very enticing. Separation is very enticing. And the reason I say it's very enticing because it's othering the other group of people. When you other somebody else, you don't have to be with them. And a lot of times what you're doing is there's a ploy from something else that's requiring you not to be present with self, which says you can't be, and the fear comes in, and then separations increase. And then you even have a right to be separate. Because that's the goal of this system, of this matrix right now that they got going. If I can find any dynamic to separate you, we will drive it home. And here's the piece that I say that because before I was wanting to go and see what energy I was talking about. So if you turn on YouTube, if you live in the United States, you guys might have access because you are experiencing our president, who happens to be a little bit challenged, I would say. If you go on there, there's great information to create more separation. There is the MAGA, who the one side call them actually maggots now, the MAGA people. There are the Republicans who are now disappointed with the choice that they made in the election. There's the trans information that people get caught up on and want to focus on about that difference. And then there's the segregation that's going on right now. That is so deep that the separation is even jumping into segregation. But here is the ironic aspect of what I'm beginning and then this whole aspect of race. So it's kind of this weird walk that you have to tiptoe through so that you don't get caught up in the weeds of all of this. And the reason I say that is this. Those weeds that we walk through are tantalizing to whatever your trauma has been with whatever group you're listening to or you feel opposed to. And once you get in the space that you're right, the separation grows even more. The whole aspect of having to be right creates the separation. And I'll say this for myself. A lot of times there's a couple groups that I have one of my good friends this good friend of mine has a son trans to a daughter. And so when I cringe when I get information about trans and what's going on in the trans community, because I know how much effort and support my brother's given to his daughter. And I realize that there are other people making people focus on that aspect instead of the oneness of why do you feel that you have a need to call something out that really isn't. It gets convoluted because once it becomes political, they put certain things in. But the whole aspect of it is that if I can distract you enough with some of these aspects of race, of transgender, of MAGA, that whole process keeps you from being present for possibilities of making the changes you want to do in oneness. And that oneness, because here at the end of the day, everybody's interconnected anyway. And the oppositional, whatever the oppositional group is, does not want that, because if that happens, then the plan goes awry. And so being and I'm talking about me, being a person that actually struggled with that aspect let me just use the one that sometimes I struggle with the most. The whole aspect, sometimes the thing that gets me that I have to take a deep breath and step back away from is race. I have to personally do it. Not that I'm not, and I want somebody watch this because people take clips out of shit all the time. But, well, that dude said this. No, this is what I'm saying. I know that I'm African American descent. That's my makeup of my body, my biological body. I get that. But my essence has always been universal and will be universal. And my belief system is I've been a lot of different things a lot of different times in my existence of being embodied. I know that. This time I happen to be an African American male. With that, it allows me that when I have to gauge myself on YouTube when I see Karens come on and they say stupid shit that's racist, because it triggers me. But I have to take a deep breath, get to my breath, and be like, is that really addressed to me? And why am I so intrigued by this person's ignorance? And why am I wasting my time with that? Does that make sense?
I was going to say, because even
what's that,
I get a lot,
Judy?
I get a lot of spiritual stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and even that's trying to separate you because they're trying to make you feel like you're special or you're different or.
Yes, girl, you're in my head, so you made me jump to this. So where did I write that down? I call it the woke conscious, being woke and conscious of people. You know, I'm better because I meditate. I'm better because I do tarot. I'm better because I'm a psychic. I'm better because I can do Akashic record. And you're because you haven't put any energy in yet. And you're this. No. Fuck no. I would say it's a privilege to get to the point of being conscious. It's a privilege to be able to get there. I'm very grateful for being there. But I'm not special because I'm there. And the whole aspect of what people have created for people to be in a space of being woke and the unwoke people, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and just be. If you run into people who are different, now I'm not the type of person that you're not gonna beat me up or hit me in my head or make me feel less than. That shit ain't gonna happen. That is not gonna happen at all. But I'm not gonna go out of my way to make you feel less than because what I realize. And it's to the point that I'm in this space right now, y'all, and I invite you to this space of not what you know, then share it. But find the people you share it with. You're not, and it's sometimes, here's the other piece too. I'm gonna be very careful with what I'm gonna retract a little bit. Sometimes you have to be in a space of understanding what people can receive. Because remember, if they're in their fear, they won't be able to hear what you're saying. When that girl said to me, and I thought this was like a trick question, when the girl said to me last week, Mr. Ashford, do you go to church? And I was like, my fangs came out like, because I don't do church.
I got a church thing too.
But this one young girl could see my genius, what she called godliness, in the hour that we were together. And I had to be willing to be like, oh my God, I don't want to. I said, I had to retract. I said, if you're in church, and she said, no, I don't go to church, but you have. She said, you got this real God thing going. And I was like, great. What if I can be more of that for me? Y'all got that? More of that for me. And at that moment, here's the piece that I'm going to jump back around again with the shit. All the Akashic record work that I've done, all the tarot readings that I've done, all the meditation that I've done, all the Tai Chi, Qi Gong, all the spiritual shit that I did came across in that 45 minutes with that young lady of just being me. And I say that because once you start to get back on a court of being consistent with a practice, and that's where I'm lacking right now, that I'm holding myself more accountable. Consistency. What time do I have to get up in the morning to pull an additional card, to come in here and stretch, to do my drumming, to do my meditation? What is important? I say it's important to me, but I'm going to go back to this one word that's actually, that I was saving for a little bit, but I'm going to bring her up now. Her name is willpower. She's very attractive. But also, you can barely reach her. Because she blends into the woods and you see a lot more of her, so you don't know which one to choose. Willpower. If she gets away, she takes something with you because you give up your will and your power. I'm using this because this whole willpower is the thing that won't allow you to be consistent. That lack of willpower, that when opposition shows up, you move to your dark side or the weak side of you. But willpower, once you step in willpower, you stay in this power and you're always powered. You're connected to the sun. That willpower, when it's missing, allows my ass to go back and buy 4 quarts of Haagen-Dazs ice cream because I didn't pay attention to my body. What's up, Vanessa? You had something?
Try Green Girl ice cream.
I ate that shit, but it wasn't Haagen-Dazs. I had it right next to my other ice cream, and I say this because I was gonna bring that up because you was on my mind. Vanessa told me about the Green Girl, so I got this Green Girl, and I got this. It was the spicy one. It was greenish yellow. It's like a chai. It was like a chai. Turmeric. And it was really good. It wasn't that sweet, and I ate half of it. And I was like, I'll put this in my tea because I have a turmeric tea, so I'll make this coconut tea. So I put that in there, but it still didn't feed my ice cream. But I went through and I was like, okay, John, we can beat you up about the ice cream, or we could really go, what are you really going after? And let's pay attention. I'm going to give you guys some insight that I wasn't going to share with you guys, because here's the thing about my body. I told my body I want to be this psychic person, and I want to be closer to my spiritual guides, that I sometimes feel the energy behind, but I can't see these cats around me, but I sense them there. I sense like this. I feel like I'm sitting down and I have all the superheroes behind me, and we're like sort of like da 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 da. What's fucking next, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my willpower is not allowing me to put my wings on, and so I asked for help. And what's happening right now that's kind of funny is this ice cream thing. Okay. Ooh, this is TMI. TMI. Okay. Ooh, can I talk about this? Is really deep. Okay. So I guess I'm going to go here. So I was a person who had a high sexual drive. And as I've gotten older, that drive has been pulled down from me, and I got kind of upset with it. And I never thought in the last 2 months that I would come with peace with that. Not that it's not going to come back, but that I come to peace with it. But it wasn't the main focal point. And it's kind of, I'm hoping I'm explaining this. I want to make sure I explain this in detail so you guys understand it. It was something that, okay, in The Lord of the Rings, precious. Oh my God, precious. That's what it was like for me, right? Sex. And I always thought I was going to be like that. And when life happened, I got frustrated with it. I was like, well, that's not fair. What's going on? How am I going to live without that? And it's kind of funny. The more meditation I started doing once I realized it, the more I let it go and then make it significant, it has lost its power. I'm going to put it this way. I have a tendency of women coming to me and advertising sexualness to me. It happens all the fucking time. I was creating that. Okay, I'm going to say this to y'all so you know that I'm creating that. Because what happens is the universe says to me that if you want to get in line with your true power, that is not significant. And everywhere you making that significant, take a deep breath into it. And ask what else is inside of there. And that inner child, that picture of that inner child starts to come up with, see, here's the piece about it. I'm going to show you all this picture. If you can you see this picture? I wasn't always fat. I just realized that when I started going back and looking at my pictures. And somewhere along the line with this whole sexual thing, my body shit that I thought I had going on, this inner child shit I thought was one part of that. And the more I start taking this deep dive in this inner child shit, I'm beginning to release this, and a lot of other things that connected to it is dropping off. Hence, the ice cream. The lack of sweetness that I consider in my body, is it real? It's almost a fear, because this is what I'm beginning to realize with this. That ice cream is representing something in my body that I haven't paid attention to until this morning. Part of my lower back stuff, my body's trying to get my attention, is this thing called inflammation. Do you know what creates inflammation? I'm just going to give you a few things that I've done some research last night and this morning. Nightshades create inflammation. Nightshades are tomatoes, potatoes, eggplant, peppers, not sweet potatoes, but just regular potatoes. And now, sugar is another ingredient that creates inflammation. So, gluten creates inflammation.
Yes, it's sugar.
Okay, so now check this out. Now I told you, remember, I want to be more in court with my body, and I'm trying to get my body to actually maybe have more willpower with it? What if my body's trying to say, Mr. Ashford, what would it look like if you truly did a cleansing in your body, that you let go of your sugars that you think you need, your Haagen-Dazs ice cream that you think you have to have all the time, that you give up your power? Because if you go in a store and you go through the freezer section of the store, you always go back and look at the new flavors of Haagen-Dazs. What is that? What if it's not permanent? Because my sister Vanessa says sometimes things happen for a short period of time, catch your attention. Once you deal with it, then you might have access to it again. You might. But when you give up that willpower, what that willpower piece is, I'm giving up. And that's the thing that really made me focus on this. There's a part of me that has given up my power, that my power has been circumventilated. And I don't like anything having power over me. And I'm willingly giving it up. Because here's the cold shot about it. In this class, I'm going back to my Akashic record class, she asked us to work on our yes and no tools with our body. Ask your body what yes is. My body, when I get this, that's a yes. When I feel so, I ask a question and my body does that. A no is this. My right side of my body does this. My hand will move out. It'll be no. I'm like, okay. I could be driving in a car and say, John, when I was going to get the ice cream, John, you need to get ice cream. Now, my body told me. I overrode my body and went in there and we bought some pints of ice cream. Giving up my power. And my body was like, okay, we're not mad. We're not going to kill you. We're not going to do that. We're just going to hang out with you a little bit so we can capture your attention so that you can actually look at how you want to deal with this. And it's ironic. And I'll show you how funny the body is and how willpower is. And so a month ago, I went back and I had this elaborate blood work done on my body. Spent like, man, it's like $3,000 on this blood work. And I knew, or I was trying to project that something was wrong with my body. So I went to have the test and I waited. I took a long time to take the test. My doctor came and said, you need to go take the test. I took that because I was like, oh, something's wrong with my body. I did the blood work. First of all, to give you guys some insight, I get faint when I feel like you're about to draw blood from me. So, you put that needle. And at first, my veins are different. So you have to take blood out of this vein that comes out of the top of my hand because my arm is hard. So harder to do that. Anyway, I go in there and I'm nervous. And I drink my water and I fasted for 12 hours. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm nervous waiting for the results to get back to the doctor. I go to the doctor. And he said, woo. And I'm like, woo, death? No, everything is perfect. And then I looked at him and said, why don't I feel good? He was like, that must be psychological for you. I was creating a space of thinking myself of being sick. And all the science came back and said it wasn't. And I say that because I had already gone in a space and I had to correct myself and give grace to my body for helping me with this lesson about what else are you projecting to yourself that's not true. And you're a real believer of being able to heal yourself. I'm really getting to that point that even with this back pain that I have, my lower back pain, it's kind of funny. I took some homeopathy remedies and stuff, and I've been speaking to this space, that sacral space in the back, that's triangle space that's hurt. What is in that pyramid of my body that is sitting there that's crying for me to give attention to it, that I've ignored for 61 years? What is that? How can I be more present with that? What is the gift of this pain that will allow me to have more clarity and consciousness by walking through this pain? I was going to call the doctor and be like, you motherfucker, you been putting my back. And the guy who, the acupressure, like, you fucked me up this Friday. No, he didn't. He just gave me an opportunity to actually, and he said, this is the secret to it. That's why I like natural medicine. He said, we're going to unlayer whatever's that back in your back. So I just give you an example of this. So I had the process done. My wife had a process done. I could barely stand up in there. He said, let's go a little bit deeper. We went deeper the second time. And that going deep, it's actually got me to the point where my legs feel like they dangling like this. It is pain. I feel like a puppet, you know. But I'm also being required to look at what else spiritually, emotionally, energetically that I have not been paying attention to.
And what about the layer that he's not doing anything? You're the one who is using him to
Yes.
bring more awareness to you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. And it's just the opportunity of now, and here's the other piece that I want to get to. There is also the power of us being powerful enough to leave when we're ready to leave. And I realized this morning when I said, am I ready to go? I felt my entity say, do you want to leave now? And that's the thing that I say to myself, like, well, why do I wake up that one saying I want to leave? There is a uneasiness too with this of the fatigue of watching people around me that I'm tired of. But the question that I have to go back to is that mine to deal with? Last night, I had a great time. Tori and my 3 kids, we went to dinner to celebrate my daughter's birthdays from early this month in February. And when I woke up this morning, I got to this spot about, I thought about sitting at dinner with them, the joy that I had. And if I chose to leave right now, what that would create. Would that create more or less? And I said that would create less. And I had to sit within that space of like, when that shows up, I was like, okay, and not running and asking for people to fix you. How do I say that? Now, massage, body work, getting cars drawn, that's not fixing you. That's just giving you more insight for you. But shifting the direction of not having somebody be your doctor or your spiritual advisor, they're just a guide. And getting to that space of owning your own willpower instead of being fleeing and giving it away is a task within itself. And I don't like using the word, one of the ways of getting closer to it is being present with self, sitting behind the heart space, getting right next to the spine, and being present with everything. Being in that expansive mode. And here's the piece that I realized that a lot of people struggle with, me included. All of the things that you make, all the excuses you make for not being present with self. All the excuses. I can figure out a billion other excuses to make or to create to make an excuse of not becoming more of what I want. And I'm beginning to realize that the universe is very patient with me. The universe is not asking you to hold on to the body pain, to fear. That's a choice that you make. And when I say it, it's harder. I want to say it's harder than what I'm saying, but it really isn't. It's only harder because we haven't tried it enough. Because if I did not have the experience of understanding this sexual frustration I had before, to the point of like, it's coming up right now dealing with this ice cream thing. It's taking more of my power. It's really empowering me to be more close and present with my choice. Does that make sense? So your body will give you experiences, and like anybody can die at any time. And when you really think about that, you could. I think that that's one of the things that And it's kind of weird because I'm saying this because so many things have come up for me in this last 24 hours. Yesterday, there is a Samuel Jackson movie on Apple TV that I watched a portion of it, and I had to stop watching it because it's about dementia. And I went to the space with my mom, and I went there, and my mom passed a year ago, and she had dementia years before that. And part of it's like, man, and I told my kids that the dinner time last night, I said, Helene, I want you to drive me out someplace in Washington, Central Washington, just leave me there with my gun and tell me there's a bear there if I get that disease. I was like watching how well Sammy Jackson acts within this and remembering my mom was very painful. Now, painful from the outside. You don't know what's going on with that person in the midst of that. But I think it's ironic that you totally forget everything, even to the point when you stop breathing.
Have you watched the movie Origin?
Was it Origin?
Yeah.
No. What is it about?
It's about this woman. She's a journalist, and I don't know what book she writes, but she's given a Pulitzer Prize for it.
Yeah.
And then she is asked to look into racism and do an article or a book about racism. And she comes across a lot of really amazing and interesting things about racism. She travels to different countries. She interviews amazing people. I would never have known about this movie, but I was watching interviews, and the director of the movie, who I can't even tell you who she is right now, but she convinced the German government that she could recreate the book burning scene from the Nazi era in Germany, in the space where it actually happened. And they've never allowed anything to happen like that there. But they gave her permission to do it. It's a very powerful movie. I recommend you watch it.
Origin.
It's on Prime. I believe it's Prime.
Okay. I'll check that out.
You will be surprised. It's amazing.
Yeah.
She goes to India. She goes to all these places. She interviews Jewish people, the survivors of Auschwitz and stuff like that. Like it's powerful.
Gotcha. I'll definitely check it out.
It's speaking to a lot of the things that we're talking about today.
Yeah. And it's right now. It's a huge. First, Vanessa, you had your hand up. Go ahead. What's up?
Two things. There's a movie called Still Alice. STI.
Wait, what's it called?
Still, like I'm still here. Still Alice.
Okay.
Really good on dementia. Really, really good movie. Second thing, can I share with you what we're learning in our mediumship course about
dementia?
Yes, please.
Oh, please. Yes.
Okay. So, dementia is not for the person that's going through it. It's for the people who are around them. Okay? The soul is not disturbed. The soul is fine. But the soul is acting out a role to teach those around them. Compassion, patience, and love on a soul connection. So that is because patience is probably the first lesson that's involved with dementia, because it's so frustrating, and you can get overwhelmed with things. There's also a woman that I follow on YouTube. I'll send you her name. I don't know off the top of my head, but she gives dementia like lessons or like what to do when this happens, and she's really good, and she just kind of hits every scenario head on. So I'll send you her link too. But Still Alice is a good movie to watch. And then I just want to say to you personally, your mom gave you those beautiful lessons, and you handled them with such care. And I know it wasn't easy, but you handled them with such care. I know she's on the other side saying, "Good job, John. Good job. You completed our contract together."
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. And it's like, and I realize you're saying everything's a contribution. And I guess you're absolutely right. Everything is a contribution. The craziness of it for me right now is how many people are now going through dementia. And I don't know how many people are going through dementia. And the forgetting, the whole concept of, it's just for me right now when I look at it, it's the whole concept of the forgetfulness that comes with it. Almost like wiping out a hard drive of a person while they're living.
What if the forgetfulness was, the purpose of their forgetfulness was to cause you to remember?
Yeah.
And then the other part, when you said that there's so many people coming up with dementia now, you gotta look too. I mean, souls react on what's going on here on this planet. Okay, we come down for certain purposes because of what's happening on this planet.
Right.
And if you look around this planet, especially Earth, we are at a state where there's such a lack of compassion and patience with each other. And soul-to-soul connection. Like, neighbors don't help other neighbors out. We don't really help strangers out. There's a sense of fear and disconnection. So these lessons have to be learned through difficult scenarios.
Yeah. And all the things you explain are examples of dementia. It's kind of interesting what a patient will go through. A dementia patient, there's no community connection. There's all those examples are amplified in a dementia people, of reflecting what's going on as a group of people on planet Earth.
Yes.
When my grandmother had dementia, there was an incident where all her grandchildren were around her, and she only remembered me. And some of my sisters, like, were brokenhearted over it. And I just said to them, "But why are you taking this personal?
Yeah.
This is not something that's happening to you.
Yeah.
It's just being in the space of where she's at."
Right. And that's the whole part of, I think that for me, that's the whole part of what happens with us as individuals, because what I think happens, our point of view gets us tripped up on what we can recreate and be with this certain spaces. And I know for me, for an example, that's very, very true. It's just like, if you ask me now about my Akashic record experience, I had one with somebody from Canada. I took a class and it was great. She gave me some information. It was great. But where I'm at right now with this new class is fucking amazing. And my point of view has changed because my psychic abilities have increased. And my capacity with creating shit out of it. So, for example, I wanted this lady, Aluna. It's hard to get a reading from this person. And back in the day, even as a kid, I could actually focus on something and formulate and help it come to be fruition, like into fruition. So the 25th is the day that she does this lottery, because she has so many people who want a reading. So the 25th, I went in there and I set my alarm at 6:55 because 7 o'clock is time. About 7:02, I got in the lottery for a reading. And I say this because so anyway, I put that on there. 24 hours later, I get the reading. And it's kind of interesting that I put the energy. It's almost, I tapped into Luna and say, hey, look, I really desire this reading at this time. And especially with what's going on with the class, what's going on the planet. And it's going to be next Monday at 5 o'clock. And I was just like, I think this is the 7th or whatever. And so the issue that what's come up for me with this is this. In the process of looking at, even with the dementia stuff, that there's a lot more awareness coming on for me right now. And it's because of me actually really taking time and space. Like I said in the beginning, if you're taking time and space of having a meditation, doing breath work, you know, you will actually get to a point that things start to line up for what you will be aligned with the universe, and things will flow. Now, it's not that you won't get swayed a little bit like a tree in the wind. I'm not saying that, but things will come up, but you'll be able to get through it a lot quicker. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be willing to be in that space. You have to choose it. And when you let go of fear, it changes everything. And consistency. So here's one of the things, and I'm gonna get off here because I've not got to half the things I want to do, but that's fine. I'll do it next month. What I want to do is give you guys this breathing exercise. It's called, you inhale for 4 seconds, or 6 seconds. I'm sorry. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you exhale for 8 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You hold it for 2, and you inhale again. Does it make sense? You guys want to try it?
Sure.
Okay, we'll just try it for a couple rounds, okay? Take a deep breath in and exhale out. This time we're going to inhale and follow my count. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it. And go back to normally breathing. Now what do you notice? When you get in a space and fear shows up, breathe. Go ahead, Vanessa.
Thank you, John. This class has been amazing, and especially with my recent health scare. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. We got this. It's all a lesson for us. It's all a fucking lesson for us.
And I know what my lesson is. And as you're talking in this class, I'm seeing what my lesson is behind this possible cancer scare. Mm-hmm. Is my breathing. Yeah. I need to sit down and chill out and work on and do more breathing.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And we don't do it. I mean, we just breathe. We breathe because we live, right? But breathing would change your nervous system. Breathing. You could actually put a cuff on and take a blood pressure before, in the breathing exercise after they finish, the blood pressure goes down.
Okay.
It's something called and I'll talk about because I got to get off the vagus nerve, I think they call it. It's connected straight to the central nervous system. Breathing is really affected by the vagus nerve is affected by breath work.
Mm.
But I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna get on because I'm supposed to jump onto another call. Hope you guys have a wonderful remainder of your Sunday. Thank you for participating with me, and I'll see y'all later. Love you much.
Thank you. Bye. Love you.
Bye bye.